Hey, Darren.
Hey, George, how you doing?
I'm feeling great, mate. Episode 1 for us.
Yes, very exciting.
Yeah, I like it. Assetora Unlocked. Did you come up with that name?
Great name.
Yeah, did you? Yeah, that's right. Did it just come to you one day?
Yeah. You know what? Let's unlock this.
Yeah, I love it. It's mate, I'm really excited about today because I'm so looking forward to basically sharing what we've learned and what we're doing with everyone that's watching. And I'm also excited because next week, episode 2, we have a guest. Olivia Long, SMSFAI. She's a good friend of mine, and she's doing some very innovative things in the SMSF administration space. I'm really excited to talk to her next week together. But how do you want to share the first episode with the world? What do you want to open up with?
I think we should start with a little bit about Assetora and what does it actually mean when we talk about invest differently. Right?
Okay. Can you start with the name Assetora? It's quite unique. How did you come up with that?
Yeah, it's an interesting word. And people say to me, what does it actually mean? And I think, we wanted to come up with a really cool name for the company. Previously the company was known as Domacom, and we wanted to make it a new name that meant something really valuable around the assets and the people and the things that you're actually buying into, or the things that you own. Obviously, asset being a core piece to that, and aura being a Latin word for gold and prosperity. So putting the two things together, and Assetora was a cool name. It also sounds like some people have told me it sounds like a running bull or something like that, right?
Assetora. I can see that. It's very good. So no, it's brilliant actually. So I came in, when did you guys take over the business?
It was November 24.
Okay. So that was, you came in, it was previously known as Domacom. You came in with a group of people, you took over, you've reshaped, revamped, renamed.
Yeah.
And what was your core intention of doing this? Why did you even bother taking all this on?
Yeah, it's a good question. So really the crux of the whole journey was trying to come up with a way that we can help people get access to different sort of investments, right? So you see a lot of people, a lot of investments in the media, you see people get access to certain things, or this office block sold, or this person sold this, or this person made a lot of money off that. And it's like, well, why is it only that the rich get richer, and why can't everybody get access to those sort of investments?
Wow.
And that's really what it's all about is, and we saw the platform coming from a background of technology and innovation, and also around, a background of already doing some things around property fractionalization. And it was like, okay, let's have a look at how people can actually invest differently right across any type of asset.
And that's why you came up with invest differently, right? Because that's what you're effectively doing. You're allowing people to invest completely differently than what traditional investment's been like. Can you give me an example of a unique asset that is a different way of investing that currently Assetora is looking at launching to market?
Yeah. I guess the difference in the assets is not so much the assets themselves, but it's the ability to access those assets. Right. So if I talked about, a $50 million property, real estate property, let's just say it's like a surf lake in Queensland, as an example, right? It's one of the first things that we have is, the ability for somebody to actually own that themselves. It's challenging because not many people have got, $50 million to go and invest in something, right?
Yeah, that's right.
And so, how do we let other people invest in that, or be co-owners in that, or be part owners of that? And so, that was the real, the kind of the crux of the opportunity, and helping people, after we started talking about that around, people in the surfing world, how many people would like to own a piece of a surf lake, And quite interestingly, many people do.
Yeah, that's right.
And coming from the northern beaches of Sydney, I know a lot of people that surf. I know a lot of people that are very passionate about surfing. A lot of people that don't like to, like me, that don't necessarily like to get into the water and surf that much.
Yeah.
But, a surf lake, why not? That sounds like a really good opportunity.
It does.
And as an investment, it creates a different thing that I can invest in, actually telling my mates that I own a piece of a surf lake.
Yeah, and you can visit that surf lake and experience that surf lake, and in the end know that you're going to get some profit share on the way back after you've paid for your accommodation and all the services there. So
yeah, absolutely.
Hey, something I'm really excited about to share is that something I've been thinking about. We're visiting a pub today, right? Is that right?
Yeah, we're going to have a look at a pub.
That's going to be a fund that we're going to be launching, correct?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what I'm excited about. The fact that I've liked the idea of building investments of things that I can truly understand and even show people, go visit them. I like the idea of saying, well, I live in a community and I can invest in the growth of my community through these amazing assets. Can you talk about that, how that came about, the whole pub creation thing?
Yeah, again, looking at how do people invest differently is exactly that, right? So it could be community-based assets.
Yeah.
You know, everyone wants to, invest in something that they know or that they're passionate about. And a lot of the times, something around the local community is quite valuable, especially a local pub, right?
Yeah,
Who doesn't want to go and have a beer or tell their mates, hey, come and have a beer at my pub?
Yeah, that's right. Because I do own how much do you own? Oh, about 5,000 units worth, but I still own it, right?
That's right. You're still an owner, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Given it's our first episode, I might just explain how fractional investment works, if that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. That's great.
So our technology, any asset that you have, let's take this whole building we're in now, might be valued at $30 million. Our platform, our technology allows us to take this unit, this building, put it into a structure called a sub-fund, which makes it its own little investment entity. And we break that down into dollar units. And you can invest, as well as others, with as little as $1,000, you can buy a piece of this building and continue buying as much as you want and benefit from the capital growth and the income generated from this building. And that's how fractional investment works. It's basically making every asset, break it down to small little bits that you then can access as an investor and benefit from the prosperity of that asset. You want to add something to that, or is that
I think that's a perfect example. And I think the thing to really understand is that it's not just real estate assets as well.
Yeah.
So some of the things that we're already have on the platform are things like we have a health tech fund that really interesting. It's bringing heart detection devices into Australia to help people with heart conditions. So instead of the old ECG where you got all the little wires all over you, right?
Yeah.
You've now got this tiny little patch that goes over your heart. I call it that's like a fat Band-Aid.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It just goes on there, connects via Bluetooth to your phone, and it does the same job. But the challenge is with a lot of medical devices is that, it takes a lot of money. Who pays for the devices, right? And so the idea that these guys have come up with, which is amazing, is to create a fund that buys those devices and then puts them out into the market free of charge for the doctors, and they put it out there, and it's a per usage model, right? So the people people that have invested into that fund are making money. The people that are trying to access that type of technology are getting a better experience, and the doctors are getting better technology out there faster. So
that's amazing.
It's a win-win.
We'll have to talk about the yield on that, just roughly how it earns a yield. That you don't have to talk about the actual numbers, but just how lucrative this approach can be.
Yeah, so it's really it's quite lucrative in the sense that these devices are not extremely expensive, but when you buy thousands of them, it's a decent investment. But then they can be used over and over again for a period of 1 to 2 years. And so the return on investment can be quite high.
Yeah, it's huge. That's magical, actually. Mate, that's a great way of doing things differently, investing differently. That's huge.
And if you think about the fractional investing side of that, well, how many people actually get to invest in that type of medical investment fund?
Yeah, it's amazing, actually. I love it. And it's very clear. You understand it. You know exactly how it generates an income, and you know how it's going to make money for you years to come. So that's what I love about it. I grew up in the investment world. I joined in 99. And it took me a long time to understand how these funds work with, short selling and derivatives, all these complicated things. And sometimes you think, well, how does this even work? How do you guys manage this? This is so straightforward. It's solid investment fundamentals, good assets, capital growth and income. I understand it and I can buy a piece of it. It's very simple. So what else do you want to talk about in terms of our business? Do you want to talk about what the vision is for Assetora long term? Like, what's the core intention of this business for you?
The real the mission of this is to really help everybody invest differently and help Australians just get into the investment market, right? And it can be through property, it can be through, we also have VC funds where people can get access to AI opportunities, right? So it's the same as people wanting to get into the share market, but this gives you an opportunity to get into all sorts of other things as well.
Yeah, I love that. That's brilliant. So I guess one of my questions as well is, if somebody wants to get started at looking at investing differently, where would they go? So would they just go to our website and just sign up? It's more just giving them direction. If you're interested in looking at investing differently, what we can help them start with, do they just register and just look at the things that are available and things that are coming up?
Yeah, absolutely. So assetora.com is the website. They can anyone can sign up there and register, and they get access to the information and also the app that is now available. So the app is another.
Tell me about that.
Yeah. So the app is really interesting in the sense that it also is another element of how we invest differently, right? So we want to not only create a different way for people to invest, but also to experience those investments.
Yeah.
Right. So if you think about, let's use the example of the pub, right? So I'm an investor in the pub. I don't want to just get a quarterly report on the financials and things like that, but I want to know what's going on, right? So I've got like an Instagram style feed that I'm getting from the publican. He's telling me all the things that are going on.
Wow.
And
that's
here's
awesome.
Here's a new beer that's on tap next week. And here's the event that went on last night and this is how well it went. All these kind of things that I want to feel like I'm an owner in that business. So it's like feeling like I own the whole thing almost.
I love that.
But I'm a piece owner.
Mate, that's the core of investing though. If you're investing something, you really are becoming an owner. So if you can understand, experience, and keep up to date with that investment, that's huge. For a couple of reasons. When things go south, and we see things go south a lot, if you actually understand your business and you know how it's making money and you're in touch with what's happening day to day, that gives you a level of comfort. So you don't freak out. You stay invested and you can go down and visit and say, this business is actually still doing great. I'm not going to worry about this. I'm going to stick to my plan. Because that's something I've noticed being in this industry for almost 30 years. People freak out and they make emotional decisions. It's not based on the reality of what's happening because they just see a number. With our structure, you can go visit your investments, see that it's packed out with people and say, well, I think this is okay. Because that matters, right? Most people lose money, not because the investment's bad. It's because they freak out and they pull out.
Yeah.
Too early. When it just give it, I saw that during the tech bubble boom. I saw it when people lost confidence or lost confidence in all corporations, early 2000s. I saw it after GFC. And what was interesting, the people actually thought, well, let me understand my investments. Mate, they rode that wave and came out strong. Because do you know the CBA, when I was working there, the price went from $50 to like $20 in 2 weeks. Everyone's freaking out. It went back to like 58 a year later. I was like, what? I was like, hang on, the bank just made $4.5 billion profit. How's the price gone down so much? It didn't make sense.
Yeah.
What else would you like to share with everyone, given this is our first episode, mate?
Well, I think also the opportunity for investing differently for things that are overseas as well. So one of the important things that that we're going to be doing over the next 6 months is looking at what opportunities Australian people can get access to their international investments as well.
Wow.
So that could be things like the different AI opportunities I've talked about.
Yeah, brilliant.
And also, property in different countries as well. There are a lot of interesting places around the world that where the property markets are booming, like Dubai is a really good example, and getting access to that. A lot of people don't want to, or they see the opportunity, but maybe they don't want to take the risk of buying a property in Dubai as an example, right? Yeah. But they will be happy to buy an investment in a fund that's buying the property in Dubai.
Yeah, that's right.
It's exactly like, it's the same way how like an ETF for Bitcoin works, right? There's people that don't want to own the Bitcoin. They don't want to have the wallet. They don't want to understand it all.
Yeah.
But they'll buy into a fund that buys the Bitcoin.
Yeah.
So it's a similar kind of model. Right? So we want to offer those types of opportunities for people to be able to access those asset classes or those particular types of investments without needing to actually do it themselves.
Yeah, I love it. Do you know what else? I can see it's been a very interesting conversation, people around the dinner table, around a barbecue. Instead of saying, I just bought, $20,000 of Westpac shares, you say, mate, I just bought a pub in Sydney. It feels amazing. I just bought a crypto sub fund. I'm not really into crypto, but I just bought a sub fund of it. But you can understand it, right? I know what it does. I know it's an asset class that's growing. Now, this is brilliant. I'm really excited about this business. Would you like to ask me anything, mate, about this? What my feelings like about things?
So what's your experience been so far?
It's been, at the end of the day, we've got a mutual friend that introduced me to you, this business. And when I looked at it, I went, wow, this looks incredible. I didn't really understand fractional investment. I just liked the idea of what you guys were doing. When I looked at it, everything you seem to create a fund out of has a social benefit or a benefit to human beings, right? Wow, I can resonate with that because all good comes out of this. But my feeling so far is this is exciting. And what we're doing, the term that I like to use, you've leveled up the investment option universe for every investor. Everything that can be used, considered a wealth creating asset, you have now made accessible to everybody. And that blew me away, to be honest. So, and then when I see things like the estate in Canberra, surf slakes, the medical devices, the other things we're talking about now as well with the credit funds and the fact you can syndicate, you can this blew my mind. If my mate and I want to buy a building, we can set that up through Assetora. Just get heaps of people in. We can all buy our units. And if one of us cracks it and wants to leave, hey, no problem. We'll buy your units or we'll find someone else to buy units. Yeah. It doesn't derail the project. It's almost like you've risk managed group investing to a point where everybody wins. And if there's any sort of conflict, you can resolve it very quickly without complicating anyone else's investments. So I love it. I think our culture is great here. It's been a long time since I can say in this industry, that I've loved coming in every day. It's been 6 months for me, and I still love every day. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, it's great.
Like, we still high five each other. I like what we're doing is exciting. It adds real value to people, and it's limitless. The things that we can do are limitless. So yeah, I like it. And something else that I'll talk about as well is that when I started here, and maybe we'll bring this up, talk about the unit holder experience. We had a challenge we had to work through as a business, right? And I got to speak to a lot of unit holders from the past legacy of this business before you and the team came in to rebrand and reinvent. And everyone was just angry. They were angry. There was no trust. They were hurt and disappointed. Fast forward now, I've become good friends with some of these unit holders on the basis of what we like to deal with. It's a very different experience. So, and it comes down to things that it really comes down to this. What we say we do, we actually do it.
Yeah.
And we keep them informed, and we actually deliver things that help them. So it's not that complicated. So I've loved to see that transition, because it went from a very intense like start for me. That's something I look forward to every day. I mean, I still enjoyed it at the start.
Yeah.
It's just you were there, man. Late o'clock night, people are crying on the phone and we're working through things with them.
Yeah.
No, I like it. I'm super excited about Assetora, and I think we just opened up another level for financial services. And I'm just making a prediction here. Don't know if this is going to go on the podcast, but I'll make it. Within 2 years' time, people are going to try to replicate what we've started. Big business, established businesses are going to try to replicate Assetora's approach to opening up wealth for human beings. Good on you, Darren, for starting that, and the rest of the team, by the way. Good on you all. Yeah.
No, it's been a great journey so far, and it's been quite a challenging one in the early days, that's for sure. Now that we've got the changes that we've had to put in place and the way forward, really excited, to be moving forward. And like you said, many investors so far that have come on board and said, look, you're making a good change.
Yeah.
We like what we see. A lot of them comment on, it's really good that, you're actually delivering on what you say you're going to do.
Yeah.
So, which is obviously the most important thing.
Yes, absolutely.
Very important. And also I see a lot of opportunity for SMSF. So I'm looking forward to the conversation in the next episode about, where we dive into the SMSFs, because that's where, there's a lot of opportunity for people to really, take advantage of investing differently, because, you've got a limited amount of funding that you can invest with yourself. But also investing with your super is just as important. So
I love that. That's a great conversation. We might actually, do you mind if we just end the episode on that? Because that's an exciting way to end it. So is that all right if we do that?
Yeah.
So tune in for next episode, because our special guest, Olivia Long, who's the founder of SMSF AI, she shares some powerful insights, and there's a lot of great things that we're doing at Assetora that help you get into property within your SMSF without having to borrow, and being able to simplify the process. So you can get in there without having to set up a bare trust, without having to get an external lender, and still own the property that you want to own within your self-managed super fund. So Darren, it's been a pleasure to do this first episode with you, mate. I'm excited about doing this.
Yeah, it's been great, man. Thanks a lot.
Yeah,
and I'm looking forward to the next one.
Me too. See everyone. Have a great day, and we'll see you next week in next week's episode.